Okay, how do I see the thing? Doesn't matter, nobody's on here anyway. Where is it? That's kind of boring, isn't it? Let's let this ride for a little bit. We're gonna put that guy on hold. Okay, where do we want to start? All right. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna slide this over just a bit. Play with this. All right, that is dry, isn't it? Okay. Good times. There's the gunk in it. Okay, I gotta get the gunk out of my brush. All right. Should be clean. Clean-ish. Now there's the gunk. All right. Okay, now we got it. So Aloha Cupcakes, I'm going to be doing some scrolling, and I'm not necessarily good at or comfortable with doing it. It's something that I used to do a lot of, then I fractured my wrist, and now I do very little of. And it's been, what, I fractured my wrist in 2017? Here, we'll slide this over a bit. Of course, I could just move this, position you this way. Hey, look at that. Okay. So let's start. That's gonna need a little bit more viscosity. I need this to be a little bit watery almost. Okay. Now all I'm really doing is I'm paleting this thing out and trying to get it somewhat smooth-ish. I see the brush is, it's not quite shaped right. So it's not quite doing what I needed to do. And that might be because there's still gunk in it. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let's try a couple of these just basic shapes here. Because see, it flares out when I'm doing that. Like this one's flaring a lot. So it's not doing quite how I want it to. It's kind of off. I mean, that one pulled all right. Oh, look at that. So, I don't know if you can see that. There is a... Let's see if we can pull it out of there. I'm shedding hair. Hair loss is an issue even with paintbrushes. That might have been the trick, actually. Let's see if that helps. It didn't. Alright, this one might just not be... Okay. Yeah, this one's not wanting to flow at all. We're gonna ditch this guy. Let's try this other one. This one's a little bit newer. Now, this is a similar brush. It's almost identical in terms of what it is for. It's just shorter handle and brand new. Let's see if we can handle this one a little bit better. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. We will see. Okay, it died out a little quick, but I just need to add some reducer to the paint. And then we should be all right for that. So this one's a lot better. It's actually doing its job a little more correctly, I think. Still not comfortable with it, and it still kind of forks out a little bit. I don't know why it does that. Is there, how do I get this thing to... Like one of these has to be... Oops. Ah, there. Okay, there I got the chat box open. Not like anybody's going to comment, but you know, on the off chance that someone does. Well, I guess somebody would have to actually be here watching this to comment. Yeah, not happening. Okay, let's see. Okay, I like that one a lot better. It's a little extra reduction, a little extra flow enhancer. And all of a sudden, we're scrolling. Hooray! It's been a long time since I was good at this. Okay. Let's see about going the opposite direction now. my goodness, that freaking worked. All right. Let's try it. Might help if I don't make my hand slip. Okay. Haha! We can do this again. I know it doesn't seem like it's all that important for me to be able to do this since I don't typically do it on anything. But you never know when one of these skills will come in handy. Like, I've still got some brush review videos I've got to film, so eventually I got to do all the scrolling brushes. Ugh. Not really my favorite. So it's something that I'm gonna have to be comfortable with at some point or another, right? Huh. For a beginner, well, here, I'll show you. What did I just do with those guys? So I just shot a video with these guys. It's the MAC green wrap, and this is the MAC blue wrap. Now I'll show you what I did with these things. They are the most basic pinstriping brushes. Here, actually it's on the box side of this board, isn't it? But like, they're essentially like the most simplistic pinstriping brushes. Yeah, here it is. And I used them to do this. There's actually, like, in my channel, that's the video that launched not today. Oh no, that's the one that's gonna be up next week. Sorry about that. That video is coming. I totally didn't realize what my calendar looked like. Let's take this guy off of here because I don't want to lay wet paint down on my bench again. But yeah, they're just green wrap and blue wrap MAC brushes. They're not anything special. They're only about like 10-15 bucks ish. Now I did use both of those. The green wraps are a little bit cheaper, I think, and they're supposed to be not as good, but the blue lines here, these are the ones that I did with the green wrap. So the not as good brush I pulled better lines with. Also, I'm gonna step over here and turn my swamp cooler on. It's getting toasty in here. Hold on one second. Now, if you're just starting out and you are wanting to pinstripe though, if you're gonna do long lines and straight lines, which I mean most of us do, that's a great set to start with. And if you're wanting to scroll, well, here's the one I was just using. Let's get the gunk off it. So I was just using this one, and I'm still kind of testing it. I worked with this one for a video that I did a couple weeks ago. And this is the one that I was just working with. This is the Wizard Black Widow. Sorry. I love how these cameras focus this way. That is not going to focus on there. But anyway, this one's a good one to start with because it is a sharper point to it. So it's got a little bit of a taper to it, which allows me to pull these really thin lines right here. But we're going to ditch this guy because I'm actually going to try out the Dragonfly a little bit. I want to see if I can do this the same way with it. Alright, this is a reject paper from the shoot I did with the last video. I got halfway through filming and I realized that my cameras don't see the white like I needed them to. So when I was trying to edit the video, it was just completely washed out. Not helpful at all. So I guess we're not going to use the white paper for any of the videos that use the Helios lens. Life lessons. Alright. So let's get this guy loaded up. So I have not. Lettering brushes are kind of similar if you have one that's like a 0 gauge or any of the smaller gauges, but do I have a quill here? Oh, I do. When you're looking at lettering brushes, when you look at their brush hairs themselves, they are a lot shorter. They are not shaped the same way because these are meant to flare out to where it's almost this wide when you're painting with it. And then when you're looking at a pinstriping brush, an actual pinstriping brush for straight lining, see it's got a very short stumpy handle and it's got a long, like the brush hairs are just a lot longer than a lettering brush. So similar in terms of what they can do and what you can do with them, but they're very, very different in terms of how they're shaped. Their design's quite a bit different too. Alright, so let's see what kind of a beast we can do with this guy here. Now this one's the Dragonfly. This is another scrolling brush. These ones have a flat or chiseled head to them, so when you're pulling the lines, the sharp pointy lines are a little bit more tricky to get, but your line consistency should be more obvious, I guess. Alright, let's see what this guy wants to do today. Okay, I'm not hating that. That worked pretty well. I'm not upset with that. It needs a little bit of a touch up here because I want this one to not die as quickly as it did, but okay. Not upset with that one at all. Might need to pour some more paint, but other than that, we're doing it. No, I think it might actually, because I'm doing this on the paper that's doing it. Because it flares how I want to. It's just that it tapers differently. Okay, I don't totally dislike it, but I kind of stopped a little short on this one, but that's okay. Alright. So I do think that I prefer this longer handle for scrolling purposes. Like, I don't have to think about that one very hard. It's definitely easier for me to control this brush than it is to control those other ones. Kind of sloppy looking. That's okay, so I can go over my lines. Let's do this. I'm not liking how it's doing that part. And I think it's because it's getting a little too sticky on the paper. Paint. So the paint is always something that people are going to argue with me about. I'm going to say get whatever is readily accessible. You're going to want to use some sort of a lettering enamel. Lately I've been using Ronin's, and I really have been liking some of the Little Daddy Roth paint because it's good paint and it's fairly inexpensive. But like, I've been working with Alpha 6 for a couple of years now, and it's been working for the most part fine. I know there's been some consistency issues lately, and I don't know if that's something, I don't know if people are getting old batches, because I know that that was an issue early on. But most guys will tell you that you got to use one shot or the world will end. I don't dislike the notion of one shot. I used one shot for close to 15 years. The only problem with one shot for me was when I needed it, it wasn't in the stock anywhere, and it still really isn't for a few of the colors that I use the most. But yeah, Alpha and Ronin are probably my two favorites when it comes down to it. The Little Daddy Roth paint is Ronin's, it's just their paint palette. So if you like their colors, definitely go for it. And then everybody over at Little Daddy Roth has been super freaking cool whenever I've had to contact them for anything. I mean, that's a relationship I've had with them for like 20 years, so they've always just been good people over there. If you're really bold about it, though, I've been having really good luck with some of the urethanes. Custom Creative, apparently, and I haven't seen it yet, they also make an enamel that matches to their urethane. But I don't know what that's going to look like or how long that's going to be. Now, with the exception of One Shot, though, I've done reviews on each of the paints, so you can get kind of an idea as to what you're looking at with them. I haven't really done it from the perspective of someone who's brand new, which maybe I should. Okay. I mean, this brush is exactly what I expected this brush to be. I use this brush for regular pinstriping almost as much as I use regular striping brushes. I just wanted to give it a shot and see if I could do some actual scrolling with it. Cool. I'm gonna call that one done. We're gonna kick this off of here. Let's grab a fresh sheet of paper. And let's try something, shall we? Let's do. We'll do one of the big white sheets. I don't like dislike, but they're not going to get used if I don't use them. So I guess what we could do, since I've been using them already, and since I've already got paint mixed over here, let's try this with the Big Daddy Wrath one. So if your local shops don't, everybody has a website. Almost everything is available through Amazon for the most part, like especially if you get into like Alpha 6, and then all of the Mac brushes are available on Amazon and on Mac's website. So I think there's only a couple of exceptions to that. And I think even those now are available. So you should be able to get supplies relatively easily. Just make sure whatever paint you get to get the reducer. Because every paint manufacturer has a slightly different recipe. And as much as other stripers will tell you that you need to use mineral spirits, that's not always the case. And that's not always the most effective way of doing it. So just get the reducer if you can. If not, mineral spirits will work, it just won't be as effective as you might like it to be. Now, where's my guns? ¿Dónde hay plumas? Oh, there it is. Now if I can get it out of the box so we can actually use this thing. There we go. So it's rough, isn't it? It's fine. Alright, let's get this guy loaded. So this is, I don't know where, there. This is the Ed Roth pinstriping brush. It's basically the same thing as a blue wrap, just sloppy. But I've been working with it since I came back from Utah, and I don't know, I like the brush. I like the simplicity of it. I like the fact that it's a brush that you could define as just good enough. You know, for being on paper, that was pretty clean. So cleaning brushes, I've been using brush cleaner. It's a universal freaking solvent that they have at hardware stores. Normally what I do is I use either lacquer thinner or I use some variation of the reducer that the paint is made with. But so far this brush cleaner has been working even on the enamels. And it's, it's actually just brush cleaner. It's been working, and I don't know why it's been working, because I mean it's definitely got a heavy acetone smell to it, so it'll cut through pretty much anything. But it's been working. Let's go wide. And if it's good enough. It's kind of weird pulling lines at this angle. And then since I've got all the big lights on, it's a little tough for me to see past my own shadow. basically my shadow, along with the dark line, along with the paintbrush being all in the same place at the same time, makes it difficult for me to see. It's fine though. Also, you as a striper should never do what I just did. And you shouldn't do it the second time either. But here we are, and I did it, and it worked. Now this is drying on me pretty quick. So I'm having to put a little extra reducer in the mix. There. I like that one. Dude, the Alien Deathhawk is so good. It definitely is going to take some getting used to, because it was like right out of the box. That was not my favorite brush, but it's so good. You just have to get used to the fact that it is super freaking flexible. Because it's almost the same design as a King 13. It's just a little more rigid. So big old gorillas like me can use it. I am not going to discredit that. I have made a brush out of my own beard hair once. It didn't work right, but your kids probably have softer hair than this nonsense going on here. So yeah, dude, definitely. It might work. Probably won't, but it might work. Mostly because the squirrels that they use to harvest the squirrel hair from, even the less desirable locations to acquire the hair from, still take pretty good care of their squirrels. Like, heavily conditioned and or taken care of. It looked almost even, right? Probably not. It's fine. I think there was a company once upon a time that made human hair pinstriping brushes. I don't remember how well they worked. I remember that the hair fibers themselves didn't hold up against the paint for very long. I mean, there were some pretty gnarly reviews about it. I remember that much. Okay, I don't dislike that. Spirit Air. Yeah, I had to take some time off. And it wasn't even that I was taking time off. I was actually out here working. I just wasn't online because I needed to really just rethink a lot of things. As great as it was to be in Utah at Ratfink, it had both positive and negative impacts on me. And there were a lot of things I just had to take some time sort through it, figure out what I want to do with life. I still have not actually made a decision on what I want to do with life, but I figure at 47 years in my existence and I still have not figured out what I want to do with my life, I don't think I have to. Dude, that congratulations, you're doing a car show. That is awesome. I don't think I have anything going on until Midnight Mass, which is near Sacramento. It's in the Yolo County Fairgrounds, but that's like end of July. So that means I have time off. You on the other hand, you got work to do. You know, I just realized I'm not on TikTok, am I? That's why the interface is so different. I'm on YouTube, aren't I? I meant to log in onto YouTube for my tablet, and I was setting that up, and I guess instead I just did it for my phone and gave up on logging into YouTube on the tablet, and now here we are on YouTube on my phone instead. Oops. Oh well. I guess I can go live over there in a little bit too. Because I guess when I'm done messing this up, I can wait till it dries. Congrats on the retirement. That's awesome. Yeah, I ended up retiring from Verizon a few years ago. And I decided I was going to run with this full time. So yeah. I completely understand the lack of knowing where it is that you're going out. Dude, you gotta destroy those comfort zones. That's for sure. Like, it takes some work, but once you've destroyed them and you realize that they were an illusion, you're good to go. I guess I had my own moment of that while I was in Utah, and that's part of what's been screwing me up. See, I have been so focused on doing this as my job that I have not been having fun with it. I mean, I stopped having fun with it. Or I lost sight of having fun in it. I don't know which. But I started taking things just a little too seriously, I guess. So I needed to not. The best way for me to do that was to just fail, essentially. Or at least to get me to realize it. I guess that's the... So yeah, destroy those comfort zones. They aren't helping you. Damn, that swamp cooler is not helping me. Like, my beard's a little wet. It's nice and moist. Alright. If I had to describe this to anyone, I don't know where I would go with it. I don't know how I would even... Yeah, I don't think I've articulated it yet. Anyhow, that's where I've been for the last couple weeks, sorting that out. And I'm partially failing at that too. Let's swipe in just a little bit more. That looks just weird. I'm not mad at it, but that's just looking weird. Shit, while I was in Utah, I actually ended up teaching one-on-one courses with pinstriping with people. That's another one completely out of my freaking realm of things. I've usually just taught classes and lectured, and I've done panels and things like that, but I've never just sat one-on-one and just gone step by step with anybody. So that was new. And I did it like 3 times. Of course, one of the people that I was teaching was the one who informed me or reminded me that the Ed Roth pinstriping brush existed. So I was so excited about this, right? Because I was like, oh, check that out. It's a janky brush. It's beat up. Coop told me the whole story about how it was made and all that other stuff. And then I dig around in my toolboxes and I found that. So I already had one. And if I was smart enough to have actually looked at the brush closely, I would have noticed all the things that he was telling me about it. We'll stick with this one though. This one at least came with a story. But I also did a review video of it because as much as this brush is stripped down and not very good, I really like working with this one. I think I've about run out of places to put things for this color. No, I haven't. Right. And pull 2. That's a good enough stopping point. I'm gonna stuff a line in there for no reason, it seems. Can we do it a second time? Can we do it? Okay, there's round 2. Now, that was a little too sharp. I'm not gonna be able to do that on the other side now, because, oops. Maybe I can pull it. No way. Actually did it twice. Okay, now I need and then I need one more on the other side. And then, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I had a plan up to this point. This is as far as my plan went. Yeah, you know what? Let's just flare all the way out, right? Just do it. But that kind of worked. Shouldn't have worked, but it kind of worked. Okay, let's see. Let's see it. Can I do it twice? I don't know about this one. I might. It's close. It's not perfect, but it was close. So if you guys remember, a minute ago, I thought I was done with this one. And then obviously I'm not. The easy answer is clear coat. Like if you clear coat anything, it's going to be preserved. Hardener will help for sure, but even some paints with hardener are still going to need something to gloss them up and protect them. Because most paints don't have a UV protecting it. Clear coats almost always do. So I would just clear it. Now a lot of times though, unless something's going to be out in the outdoors, like in the weather and stuff like that, you kind of get away with not doing anything. That worked. Okay, now where do I want to go to tie that up? Or do I want to? If you're going to do it on a tumbler, make sure that you prep the surface first. I wipe them down with denatured alcohol because it doesn't mess up the finish at all. But it does make, it kind of works the same way an adhesion promoter does. Unless of course it's got a Teflon coating, at which point nothing's going to stick no matter what you do, but I haven't seen one of those in a while. Because the ones that are coated with Teflon are also not like thermal resistant, so they're only good for coffee. And then remind your customer that none of our paints are dishwasher safe. I say that, and that's going to be the next innovation from like somebody. We made dishwasher safe pinstriping paint. That might actually be kind of cool. Imagine having a pinstriped cast iron skillet. One that you could actually cook pancakes in, though. All right, I think we are as far as I can push this blue paint for now. So, oils and ghouls. I think this is as far as we're gonna get with this one. It's a little wonky right over here, but for not designing anything and painting sideways, I think I did all right. Yeah, I'm not upset with this. I'm gonna let this one dry, and I think what I'll do is I'll go live on the TikTok in a while once this one's dry. We'll give it maybe an hour or so. So I'll go on there and pick a different color, and then we'll just go from there. So I guess this is my first real live on YouTube, so that's kind of awesome for me. I've been failing at this just because I've been avoiding doing it because I didn't want to use the equipment that I was using, but this is working. I would ideally like to be able to do both apps at the same time, but hey, this works so far. This is the camera that should be broadcasting this right now. As you can see, it's not on because I messed up. Anyhow, till the next video, stay moist, my friends. Why did that not do it? You're still on, aren't you? Okay, I can't figure this out. Does not want to stop. That's not helping.